Heyo. We said at 3, but they're a little bit of a busy bee. So I'm expecting a little bit later. But I'm getting the stream up now. Just that way we can get people to slowly trickle in. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh. Slowly get people to trickle in. Have a good time. Have a good day. November's going to be stacked. Hey, Erebus. Hello. Hello, friends. Talking about nerd stuffs? I love nerd stuffs. Let me get a better shirt on. Oh. I will have to go into standby mode quick, because I think I figured out a solution to my problem with the camera stuff until I can get a second camera. But I might have a solution, children. I might. Who knows? But it is a thing. It's a good time ahead, though. It's a very good time ahead. Screaming in the Discord server. So, hey! So something that I do want to play, come November is Metroid Dread. I own the game. It's sitting in my living room right now. I really want to play that. And I haven't played it since I got it, and I feel bad because I love Metroid Fusion, and I got Metroid Dread because it's a sequel to Metroid Fusion. But I really want to fucking play it. Ah! I know it's a bit dead now. Who is Turaga Maxil? Turaga Maxil is a TikToker who focuses extensively on Bionicle lore. And they do these really cool builds and such on TikTok. And they were one of my first TikTok friends. So, like, any excuse to have them on, I'ma fucking do it. Cause I like them. I think they're pretty fucking cool. Hi. Hi. I think they're a pretty cool person. They're a pretty swell person. I don't know much about the Bionicles, but I've always been interested in them. Damn right when I'm in class 2. Big oof. Corbel! Oh no. You could always just have me on in the background. I had a hunch of the toys, but I don't know much lore. How's it going, internet folks? Also, are Bionicles still around? Not seen those in a long while. No. Lego Lego got rid of them after, I think, 2018 with an attempted reboot, but it fell on its face harder than Metroid Other M. So that's a take. Turaga's also into other things. They're a bassist for a band. Are they lead? I had to actually ask them. I don't know if they're a bassist or a lead guitarist. But my favorite video from them, and I know this is terrible to say, is that like they're just playing the guitar. It's like da 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 depression. That's my favorite video from them. It screams. It screams just perfect. I appreciate them as a human being so much. They're just wonderful. Absolutely adore them. Hopefully more people will be able to join us eventually. But either way, I'm looking forward to a very fun conversation. Of course, you guys are free to ask questions too. Like, don't be shy. Your questions help keep our conversation going. I think a show or movie. It had Mask of Light, Legends of Metro Nui, Shadows. Web of Shadows. Bleh. The Metro Nui movie? Those were the four, and then they had Hero Factory as a TV show, which both was and wasn't Bionicle. It's weird. I will be shy if I choose to be shy. I'm not asking you to do anything you're uncomfortable with. I'm saying if you want to. You don't have to. I will never hold a gun to your head. I will never hold a Mega Buster up there. Oop. Hello, friend. Just give me one moment. I'm trying out something. Give me 1 second.
All right, take your time. Take your time. I got all day.
Do that.
Well, realistically, I have about hour and a half, after which I should definitely get back to studying and all that.
A fair statement. Boom! I exist.
Hello there. Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So, how have you been? I know you've been a very, very busybody.
Yeah, it's been busyness. Been a lot of depression. Someone I know passed away, unfortunately. A different friend of mine I thought also died, but is apparently okay, which is great, but also very emotionally confusing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
This all happened like a couple days ago. I am okay. I'm mostly okay, I guess. I mean, look, these things happen, unfortunately. It's been a year. It's been quite a year. And it's just, a lot of kind of uncomfortable anniversaries approaching. I'm just getting through all of that, but I'm finding time for, myself and for the work that I want to do and planning for the future. And that's kind of giving me some kind of energy.
That's good, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything complicated or depressing here. We are here to just talk, have a good time, and have fun with chat and catch up, because holy fuck did I miss your company.
I missed you too.
Woo! But yeah,
good to be back.
I do have a quick question, because I was confused about this. Are you a bassist or a lead guitarist for your band?
For the band that I'm in with other people, I'm actually the drummer.
You're actually the drummer. Okay.
And then for my own project, I play every instrument. I'm I've been playing guitar and bass for about 6.5 years, something like that, and then drums for about a decade and a half.
Ooh. Yeah, because my brain was like, you play guitar, but you also play drums, but like in the band, like what position were you in? And my brain was immediately asking these questions because I remember the one video you made, and someone said, "Make it a sound," and it's just you playing the guitar and then saying "depression."
Yeah.
That was a very funny video, and that is my all-time favorite from you now.
I'm glad.
Minus the one where it's just like, "Are you ready to save the world?"
God. I mean, I'm glad someone still gets those references, because Sanity Not Included has been lost to time. Which, for about 90% of the material, isn't really regrettable at all. Because it was like, you know, it was funny to like 12-year-old me, but like the humor for a large part was regrettable.
Oh, it was. A lot of stuff from the early internet is regrettable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you remember
there were some golden ones.
Oh, there were some golden ones.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the Laser Collection series from like 2008?
No, actually.
It was just an entire stupid series where it was just the "blah" meme with like...
With Shoop de Whoop.
Yes, and Dr. Octagonopus. Blah! It was a time to be alive. My God. So I see that you've kept up, though, with the Bionicle lore videos, and I've been trying to catch up with them. And you said they get wild. I did not expect time travel.
Yeah, or dimension hopping and time travel, both mixed into one.
I, like, trying to keep up with it, I'm like, is this how I sound to my friends when I talk about Warhammer?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh. Absolutely. It's how I sound when I talk to my friends about Warhammer as well. It's how I sound when I talk to my friends about real-life historical shit, too. Oh. Because, like, it gets insane. Like, half the time I read things or I hear about things, I'm like, that sounds, like, not right. And then I look it up, I'm like, oh, that's accurate. That's accurate. Holy shit. It's just how, like, the amount of, like, weird cult shit that happens over the course of history is just really, really fucked.
That's actually a really fascinating topic for me, is ancient mythology and such, and like how different cultures and groups of people had different relations with different gods and everything, and just how they came up with everything. And I was like, how deep does this rabbit hole go? And they're just like, well, the farthest that we could find is the one we can't read. What do you mean? It's a dead language and no one can read it. God damn it. How bad was it? Possibly Persephone and her mother Demeter were actual rulers of hell? What? Yeah. Like, it's very heavily hinted at that Hades might actually just be a made-up, like, just kind of, like, inserted into the canon. Because the Greeks took two gods, Persephone and Demeter, from a different religion and then put it into their own. But they needed someone to rule over the underworld, and that would be Hades. Because there's no mention of Hades anywhere else. And I'm like, damn, overly sarcastic productions, why do you make me go down rabbit holes? But yeah. It has been an interesting few months.
Oh yeah? How's that?
Well, I was best man at the wedding recently, and that was fun. My friend married into a native family, so I got to see native traditions and customs during a wedding. It was beautiful. It was really wonderful. Then started my Pokemon Nuzlocke. I want to die.
You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
Oh, Pokemon Nuzlocke?
I know zero. I know zero about Pokemon, like bagel.
Okay, so Pokemon. I assume you know Pokemon in general and what it is. So a Pokemon Nuzlocke is a essential rule set that you play where the battles are set to a battle mode called set, which means that you can't switch out your Pokemon in the middle of battle.
Wow.
So like the game would ask after you knocked out an opponent's Pokemon, would you like to switch to would you like to switch to a different Pokemon? After it tells you like which Pokemon's coming up. You set that battle mode to not do that, and then the rules are it's Pokemon with permadeath. So if your Pokemon gets knocked out, it's dead, box it, it's gone forever.
Okay.
And if you lose a battle, start over from the beginning. And you have to name each and every one of the Pokemon you catch. Because it helps build that closer bond, you could say.
Oh boy.
It is it can either be the easiest trip you'll ever be on, or it could be an absolute nightmare, which is what my Emerald Nuzlocke is turning out to be.
Right.
Because I lost my starter, which is actually one of the better Pokemon of Pokemon Emerald, and I was an idiot while doing it too, because I had a Pokemon that could just avoid an attack entirely, and then I'm like, nah, he's gonna get hurt from it, so I'm gonna send in this guy. Oh, it's using a magnitude attack. Oh, it's using the maximum version of that attack. Oh, and a crit. Oh. It was, as History Lover was saying in the comments, I watched Boss lose his starter. It was so sad and so preventable at the same time.
So sad and so preventable at the same time. God, that hits different.
It does. Pokemon Nuzlocks are very popular in the Pokemon community because it turns a baby easy game into a game of where you actually have to start thinking, and it's really, really fun when you're really like thinking about like, okay, I have to plan for this, this, and this, but what do I want my final team to look like when I go challenge the Elite Four? What is the Elite Four using? All that kind of stuff. And it's so much fun to think about because my brain goes like cactar on something. It just needs to latch onto it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch them later when my kiddos aren't napping so I can laugh without worry. Oh, that's great, Hadrian. But aside from what's new with me, like what's new with you? Anything like brand new with you aside from the darker spots in the timeline?
I guess not exactly. I've just been, I've been putting out music when I can. I kind of have like a backlog of stuff that I've wanted to release, and I've been doing that. A while ago, and I'm gonna release this eventually. I don't know when. I made I did a. Do you know the Joji song "Old Yeller"?
I am aware of it. I have not listened to it.
It's like it's really simple, but I took it and I was like, I'm gonna turn this into like a death metal song, and I've done that, and yeah, I'm gonna release it, and it's gonna be good.
Pop artists turning hardcore metal songs into pop music. Nah, heavy metal musicians turning pop songs into metal songs. Yeah. Turaga, what is one historical fact or facts that's unbelievable that you want everyone to know about?
Oh fuck! You see, every time somebody asks me this question, my brain completely shits itself. Let's see. Oh Lord.
It's okay. My brain does dial up noises too.
I mean, there's one like. It's one of the things that that really tickles my fancy is sometimes times where like certain people go it's like they eat one of those like Mario stars that makes them like invincible, and like there's that dude, those like the dude in Finland during World War II, the White Death.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he was just riding high and just murking people. It was insane.
He
Um, yeah,
he's a beast when you read on my history.
yeah, that's one of the better. That's one of the more like kind of like cool ones. And the other ones, there's a lot of other historical moments that are like fuck. Like just um, the fact that like the United States basically had its own Chernobyl, and it hasn't really been talked about until recently. Like,
Wait,
there's a Netflix show about it now.
What?
3 Mile Island. Look up 3 Mile Island.
What the fuck?
There's like a bunch of people who like have cancer now and are like they're actually getting their stories told now, which is great. But like 3 Mile Island is like it wasn't like gonna be it didn't end up being like quite as like explosively terrible, but it screwed up a bunch of people's lives in a really horrible way.
In fucking Pennsylvania?
Yep. Yeah. No, it's a little bit fucked.
Oh my god. As a Canadian, that's something I probably wouldn't hear about, but holy shit,
Yeah.
dude. That's...
We don't like yeah. It's not heard about much in general. It's more of a recent thing that people are like actually talking about this stuff. So there's another one that I think is really interesting called the business plot, which is basically like okay, I'm just gonna read the synopsis on Wikipedia because I never explain it well. In 1933, the United States was there was an attempted overthrow of FDR's government.
Oh yeah.
To install a dictator. It was basically let me see here. Examining blah blah blah. Oh god. During the hang on, give me 1 sec. Let's see if I can. I'm trying to find.
Also, just keeping any questions gathered.
Mm-hmm. It was basically like a bunch of Wall Street people and a bunch of banks uniting, trying to, and like co-opting, I think, a couple of different
Yes, the banks.
basically like fascist groups to like install it, basically to install a dictator, and it was all blown up by this guy called Smedley Butler. And people just like it's dismissed kind of as conspiracy, but part of the reason it's dismissed as conspiracy is because a lot of the people who were like in charge of like news outlets, like specifically the New York Times, were part of the plot.
So they hushed it up.
No, they like wrote about it as like, oh, it's a giant hoax. And so it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of like you can make the argument that it like would theoretically maybe be a hoax, but it's probably not, especially because this guy, the guy writing about it, like Smedley Butler was part of the was basically like, yeah, it's a ridiculous name, I know. He wrote a book before detailing the business plot. Before all that happened, he wrote a book on like during World War I that was basically just him talking about the military industrial complex, because he was like he was a big part of the like this was 100 years ago. He was a big part of like all these different wars in Latin America to install like banana republics and shit. Like he was a part of that, and then he eventually kind of woke up to the fact like, oh, this is really really fucked up. And he was already like not liked by the establishment.
Oof.
Yeah, no, it's the business I am pretty convinced that the business plot is a real thing. I find it hard. I find it hard to believe that it's not, because it's very much, it seems about right, given how many American capitalists were involved with Nazi Germany. It does not, it would not surprise me if if it was irrefutably true. If it became irrefutably true, I'd just be like, yeah, no, yeah, obviously.
When you said different companies that were invested in Nazi Germany, my brain just immediately went to a TikTok that I watched, where it's like, oh yeah, if Disney came back today, and it's just his head on like a thing, and he's just saying like, hey, wow, I didn't know they put, I didn't think we'd be putting Jews on our trains. Toots, get me a cigarette. That kind of thing. Just like what kind of person he would be nowadays. It was so funny. Oh my god, I gotta find that video and show it to you.
There's a dude, I don't know what the fuck his name is, but he does a lot of these like kind of comedic reenactments of like how people were at a certain time. Like he does a great like 1920s one that had me in stitches. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was so funny. I don't remember his name either, but he's like, he has a very particular kind of haircut. Kind of looks like that.
I think I might know who you're talking about, but now his name escapes me.
His name fully escapes me too. My brain sucks.
Don't worry about it. My brain sucks too, unless it's like something specific that I could hyper focus on. My brain's just like, ceiling. But the next question. The next question.
With hyper focus, I sometimes just.
Yeah. The next question is there a community or hobby you want to get into that you haven't had the opportunity?
Beyblades.
Beyblade, let it rip.
Beyblades. I keep getting like Beyblade videos, like lives, TikTok lives of like Beyblade stuff, and every time I get one, I'm just sitting there for like half an hour watching. I'm like, this is amazing, and I love this.
All it is top spinning. But it's fun when the tops clack against each other. It gives off the best chemicals.
Yes, and you can make your own tops to make the best clacking.
So, I remember when me and my brothers were kids, we were heavily into Beyblades, and my brother basically saved up enough money to buy a Beyblade customizing kit, and he made this abomination. I have no idea what he did, but this thing was terrifying. And he gave it to his friend to do something else to it. I think his dad had like a metal tool or something that he could use to sharpen or like smooth down the metal. And my brother then put his Beyblade against my big one, like my big plastic one that I had. It was like a turtle one or something. And all I remember is that we're on the deck, we let it rip, they're spinning around each other, and then the next thing I know, my Beyblade whips past me, goes right through between the wood on our deck, the wood paneling on our deck, and we're like, where did it go? And we run down all the way downstairs to the backyard, and all we see is at the bottom is near the tree at the back of the backyard, and the top is snapped right in half in the middle of it.
Holy shit.
And we're like, ah!
What have you created?
Yeah, so like my mom's like, what the fuck happened? This was like brand new. And my brother's like, Pegasus go burr. And then later on, I was getting picked on at school. My brother's like, no. You know what's gonna make those kids stop picking on you? What? You put this Beyblade. He puts the cursed Beyblade in front of me, and he's like, no one will pick on you after you use this. And I'm just like, I doubt that's gonna work, but okay. We play Beyblades at lunchtime in the middle of winter, cause Canadian, and we have like this little ice patch that we would Beyblade on in like the middle of the schoolyard, and. Yes, it truly was Canadian. We had our own fucking...
Really? That's so Canadian.
It was great. And we let this baby go. And the curse did not leave. It was still hungry for blood, as it knocked 2 Beyblades out of the ring and sent another one flying into the chain link fence. And
Holy
lucky for this kid, his didn't get absolutely fucking destroyed like mine did. It just got caught in the fence. I fell out of Beyblade, but then I'm like, I fell out of Beyblade because, like, when you grow up, you fall out of toys and such.
Yeah.
And then you realize that's a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
And I tuned back into it because I'm like, okay, what's going on now? Bay wheels? Nope, I'm done. This is stupid as fuck.
Bay wheels?
It was an attempt at reviving Beyblade here in the West, where instead of like tops, they were wheels, and then you did the same thing, but instead of spinning, they rolled in a direction, and it was whoever Bay wheel smashed through the other one. And I'm like,
Stupid.
it was
Hi.
dumb. Hi. Say hello to my fiance.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
I just got home.
Yeah, I see that. Welcome back. I'm gonna give you swishes. There you
I'm
go.
in pain.
You gonna be okay?
I got new pain cream.
Cool.
I'm gonna try it.
All right. Love you.
I love you. Oh, when you're done, can you help me unscrew the thing in the bathroom so I
Yes,
can
I
see
can
it?
help with that.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you. Have fun.
My fiance, everybody. She loves your content, by the way.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. And then, like, when I was older, when I grew up a little bit more, I'm like, okay, what the fuck are all these Beyblade memes that I'm seeing? Because, like, when you see Moses splitting the Red Sea with a Beyblade without context, you gotta understand the fucking context at that point. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then learning about the context behind it doesn't help, but it makes it funnier.
Yeah.
The anime got fucking wild.
Yeah.
Why do you want to get into Beyblade? Though I have to ask.
Physics. I like when things bump together and sometimes explode. I'm a huge fan of like physics games and things like that, and I love doing stuff like that. I love smashing things together and seeing what happens.
I mean, it just activates caveman brain.
Yeah, no, it's like I like breaking ice with rocks. I like I spent like 2 hours today before doing this, like chopping wood, but it's not with like an axe, because the wood we have here is very soft and very wet, basically. So if you try and chop it with an axe, the axe will just get stuck, and it's just a waste of time to do. So you basically hammer a wedge into the wood, and then you take a bigger hammer and hit the wedge really, really hard until the wood breaks. It is one of my favorite things to do. I love it.
Damn.
It's so fun. And what annoys me is it annoys me that I was not asked to do this sooner. And the reason is not because, I mean, it's because it's super fun, but like I wish I'd done it sooner, because like some of the wood that I'm supposed to be chopping has been sitting there long enough for it to just have started to rot. So I can't do anything with that.
Aww.
Really. And they're like, I looked today, like I tried rolling one up to chop it in half, and I looked on the bottom, and there's just these like large black beetles have made their homes in the wood. I don't know what they are. They're about this big, and they have like kind of slightly angular shells and very weird looking heads. They're very cool, but they live in the wood, and I'm like, yeah, I can't fuck up this. I can't chop this wood anymore because we can't use it for anything. It's somebody's home now too, so what are you gonna do?
Do they?
I'm actually gonna look up what.
Do they look like? If I could get our chat up here quick.
Oh yeah, no, here. I just found it. They're horned Bassists.
Oh,
Horned Bassists.
Horned Bassist. Okay. Because I was like,
what they're
that
called.
sounds like a pine beetle to me.
Let me see. Let me see the image that you sent.
That's a pine beetle.
No, it's not one of those. It's
Okay.
not one of those. It's a horned passalis. Yeah, passalis. Sorry, not palassus. Nah. I think it's because they're. Where are they? Yeah, they're like in the eastern United States. It looks like. They're about they're about 4 centimeters. Well, like 1.5 inches approximately.
Damn.
Generally, they're pretty big. It's apparent they seem harmless, but they're like they're not like. They're one of the beetles that's like they're still beetles, so they're still ugly, but they're not that ugly. They're shiny, so they're kind of cool.
I don't know, if you get me beetle armor, like if you have like a beetle armor look, I love beetle armor looks.
Yeah, beetle armor's dope. Can they fly? Okay. Dorsal thorax, abdomen, pin, dried horn, palassus, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh, they can make noises like crickets.
That's terrifying. Indecent beetle armor. Iridescent beetle armor. Ooh.
Iridescent beetle armor.
That would be cool. I do like me some iridescent look.
Let's see. I'm gonna try and see, because they have wings. I don't think they can fly, though. I think they're too thick.
Did you know that they're... History lover, why? Do you know that there is an entire dress made out of beetle shells? I'm not surprised. That's still nasty.
No, me either.
All I'm thinking
It's
about,
super nasty.
all I'm thinking about is like that one episode of Dragon Ball Z Abridged where like Trunks puts his hand inside a cell's larval form, like a cocoon, and he's like, it's all over my hand. Oh, it's so gross and wet. Oh God, it's drying. It's growing hard on my
Seems
hand.
like something Shino from Naruto would do.
Probably.
It's also, I mean, what it also reminds me of is like somebody built like I think like a Gundam out of cicada shells.
Eh.
It's really. I'm gonna hang on. Cicada shell.
Lover, you need to
Gundam.
stop. That's gross.
Yeah, or no, it wasn't a Gundam, but it was like a. Oh no, it is a Gundam. It's like a and oh yeah, somebody built Mechagodzilla out of cicada shells and a xenomorph.
Stop
Wow.
taking the corpses of fucking bugs.
No, they're not corpses. They're like the larval shells, the ones that they just kind of leave everywhere anyway.
Oh, okay.
This was like you remember 2021. The swarm came. Wait, no, you didn't. You don't because you're a Canadian.
I'm a
That's an
Canadian.
East Coast thing.
I don't deal with that.
It is horrible. It is
It's
disgusting.
I have a friend that lives in Florida, and they're like, I can't stand these fucking cicadas. And I'm like, what do you mean? They just put the computer right by the window, and all I'm hearing is the sound of cicada. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. The true groovy music of annoying.
The true groovy bug music.
It is.
Every 17 years they do an East Coast tour. It's horrible. It's literally it was not this last year. It was not as bad as it was in 2004. I still have I think I have mild kid PTSD from that, because sometimes I still have bug nightmares sometimes, and I think it's all based on that. I'm not afraid of them really anymore, not as much. They still wig me out, but there's this one time I had a video of them when they were at peak, and I'd driven home from my then girlfriend's house, and I'd driven home, and the walls of our house were just caked in cicadas.
Oh my god.
And they were making a sound. They were making a sound I hadn't really heard them make before, or I guess I didn't realize it was them making that sound. But they usually do this kind of buzzy hiss thing. This time, collectively, it sounded like almost like a like a creaking noise, like somewhere between a creaking noise and a growl. It's really, and like individually they're super loud. Like a wall of cicadas is horrible. Like, I couldn't get to my front door. I could not get to my front door because they would start screaming at me, and a couple of them would just fly at me because they have no concept of like the like the value of their own lives. They're short, stupid lives, so they just fly at you. And sometimes they're just like, fuck it. I'm really like, oh god, I didn't at the time. I didn't smoke cigarettes. I'm really glad I didn't, because going outside to smoke cigarettes at that time would have been a nightmare. God, no, but like they fly at you, and they get really fucking aggressive, especially when there's a lot of them, because when there's a lot of them, they get like that's when they're like, oh, there's a lot of us, they can't fuck with us, no one can fuck with us. Jeffrey, go fly into its face and bug them.
Jeffrey, go. Fuck, I since I've never encountered cicadas,
all they do is scream. It's just it's the whole thing.
I've never encountered cicadas before, because like I live up in Canada. I live under the mountains. It's very cold up here, and I never knew they were an aggressive bug. I've always just heard that like they're the most useless bug in the world.
Yep.
Because like all they do is
the thing is they're not aggressive by nature necessarily. It's just when there's a lot of them, they're like swarm time. Because everything when most bugs when they're in swarms get aggressive. That just kind of for some reason. I mean, it's like a pack tactic thing. Someone could explain it better than I can. I'm not a biologist. I don't know how this shit works. But they get more aggressive when there's more of them, because they're like, there's more of us. There's a whole lot of us. There's only one of you. And it's like, it's also like you said, the most useless bugs ever. They crawl out of they spend most of their life living in the ground, then they crawl out of the ground, shed their skin, scream for a couple of months, fucking die, and that's their whole thing. It's their whole thing. Like the end of their life cycle, like specifically, it's called like Brood 10 or whatever, or Brood X, the ones that come out every 17 years. They're in the ground for 16 years before that, just sitting there, doing ground stuff,
ground stuff.
Eating ground bugs, and then eventually they just, and eventually they just come out, cling to trees, fall out of their skin, learn to fly, fuck, and die. And the smell of decaying cicadas in the hot summer sun is putrid in a very unique way. I don't quite know how to describe it. It smells like stale, and I guess and it's just when it gets hot. And the thing is, they all die like around August-ish, like end of July, around August, when it's the hottest time on the East Coast. So when they start dying, their bodies just get roasted in the sun, because a lot of them just die on the asphalt too, right? They just crawl onto the asphalt, and they're like, I don't really know where to go from here, and they just die there. The entire East Coast just smells like a graveyard for a month.
It's
like
just
a bug graveyard.
It's just that one scene from Lion King 1.5. Ah, yes, this is where I'll die.
Yeah. Basically, it's. But I mean, can you imagine if every 17 years we had a horde of rats come out of the darkness, and then just for a month, and then they just died, and you just had mammals don't do that shit. Mammals lead purposeful lives. Bugs do not.
I'm kind of curious now. So you've played Halo 3, right? In Halo 2?
Yes.
I wonder if killing drones is like a sort of like a point of revenge for Americans there, because like when the Halo Master Chief Collection came to PC, they made it a challenge to kill 10,000 buggers. And I'm like,
yeah,
what is with the drone hate? And then you realize, oh, Halo was developed on the East Coast. And then you remember what's on the East Coast. Hi, cicadas. Didn't see you there.
I never made that connection. I never made that connection, but that actually makes it's a lot of sense. Get my water.
Mammals lead Percival.
That makes a lot of sense. Also makes sense as to why I hate the fucking bastards so much and hate whenever I play Halo. I'm just like, fucking drone level, and I'm just like, die, you shits.
They're not as bad in Halo 3. That's because, like, a stiff breeze kills them instantly. But Halo 2 drones are my worst nightmare. Especially when, like, my friends, like, let's play Halo 2.
Yeah.
Let's play Halo 2 on Legendary. No. No, thank you. Why not? Because killing drones is a pain in the ass, and I'm not doing it.
The Halo 2 Legendary campaign is just unfair.
Did you hear about what happened during the summer?
What happened?
Moist Critical, if you know who that is.
Yeah.
He posed a $1,000 challenge to anybody that could beat Halo 2 either on the Master Chief Collection or on the original platform of Halo 2. Beat it on Halo Lasso without dying once. And he was like, hey, someone will get it done within the day. 3 weeks pass. No one's done it yet. At the time, the closest person that got there was at the mission Gravemind, which is the mission where, like, you teleport onto High Charity and you start fighting in the middle of a civil war. And he died to an elite counselor at the end of the level. Oops. And so he's like, fuck, okay, if this keeps going, everyone's gonna stop. I raise it to $10,000. And then more people hopped on board, and then someone finally did it. I don't remember their name, but they did it, and they got the 10K. And
that's incredible.
It was a whole month.
They made it past the fucking Jackal snipers.
Oh yeah, it was painful, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do the challenge myself, because that's I like myself, and I don't want to hate myself. How bad is it on Legendary again? Because it's not just Jackal snipers that were the problem, even though they were pretty memorable because the sound of.
Yeah, I have only tried playing like a couple. Like, I just every now and again I just try it for fun just to see like how much it does actually suck. Because I've never beaten any Halo campaign on Legendary. Halo has one of the few games that has like a really comprehensive difficulty ramp. Like, it gets difficult it gets difficult in very specific and very very well thought out ways. Like, the enemies don't just have more health or whatever. Like, the mission design gets more complicated. Like, the thing is, do you remember Crisis?
Yes.
It was like the nanosuit thing.
I remember.
It was hard, but the thing is, like, I beat Crisis, I think 2 and maybe 3 on the highest difficulty. Like, I went through it on all the different difficulties. Because at the end of the day, the missions were the same. It was just a little bit more shooty, and the enemies had a little bit more health. Like, you as a person just sucked a little bit more. Halo, I can barely survive on like heroic difficulty on half of the campaigns. Like, I think I've only ever beat it on heroic in Reach, maybe.
My friends have stated that when they watch me play Halo, and I think chat stated this a few times as well, is that I'm scary when I play Halo because I played it so much that like everything is just second nature to me. And fun fact, Halo Legendary is bullshit. Because depending on which game you're playing.
What do you mean?
The original Bungie titles, the enemy did get increased health. It's just that you're always aiming for the head for the instant kill, so you don't notice. However, everybody has added health and shield toughness. So you have basically, in order to break a minor brute's armor in Halo 3, you have to unload most of an assault rifle magazine into it, and then that brute still needs another half magazine to take him down, and that's just the weakest brute. And Halo 2 Legendary,
Yeah.
Halo 2 was not done when it was released. It was 98% done.
Yeah.
And so you could unload an entire SMG, including all of its ammo, and that brute will still be running around. And you're like, what is happening? Because they upped enemy toughness and health. And it's... drove me nuts. Plus, how they've also made it more difficult is that they make your shields easier to pop. And people did the math on this. In Halo 1, on Legendary, you can take 22 shots before you go down. Minus grenades, minus Needler, super combi explosions, and insta-kill bullshit. 22 shots is all it takes to take you down in Halo Legendary.
Yeah.
Halo 2, 6 shots. It's 6 shots to take you down. Halo 3, I think, went back up to 18. But that's insane.
Insane. Yeah, wait, shots of what, though? Or is it like an average of everything?
It's an average. So,
Okay.
It sucks because, like, the best way how we figured this out was the same mission, Gravemind, in Halo 2 is like, okay, so there's 2 brutes at the start, and in Legendary, enemy aggression is kicked up a notch. So, like, how many shots does it take for me to go down? Spawn, die. Sir, I would like to move before you shoot me. Spawn, die. How many shots was that? I heard 6. Replay the footage.
Yeah.
Both brutes fired 3 times at him, and he died. It... When you read or watch the history of Halo 2's development, it is the funniest but also most tragic shit you'll ever watch. Because
Yeah, I mean, because they were kind of forced to, like, put it out real quick after Halo 1, right?
Yeah, it was like 3 years, but the problem was that Bungie also got really, really overconfident, and they couldn't decide on what to do. In fact, it was just last year that members of Bungie came together and actually released... what's that thing where, like, animators do? Storyboards! They released storyboards of what Halo 2's original plot was going to be. And it is fascinating to see what they had planned. However, that was scrapped because they had 1 year of development left and they were only on the storyboarding at that time. And Microsoft's like, it's 2005. We need to get Halo 2 out the door now. What are you doing? Oh, well, you see, we decided that pulling a Halo 1 development was also a good idea again. You mean that 9-month hell that you put yourselves through? Yeah! How are you alive? I don't know. Does the game function?
Yeah.
What happened? It lit the Xbox we put it on fire. What? Yeah, there's
Jesus, what the fuck?
People didn't know about this for a while, but then footage came out later where they put the Halo 2 demo on an original Xbox at E3, and the game overloaded the Xbox so badly, the Xbox, I guess, decided to write its final goodbyes, and then lit itself on fire because it couldn't handle it.
Holy shit.
And, like, the guys at Bungie had a laugh because they're like, how do we have jobs? But the funniest thing came out in the newspaper the next day, and it was like, Halo 2, it's on fire. The game is so powerful, it lit the Xbox up, and everyone's like, oh my god! And then later on it came out that Halo 2's E3 demo that they had, the one where it was like the Metropolis fight, and it ends with like that really cool scene where like Chief hijacks the Ghost and like crashes it, and like sees all of like the Covenant pods coming down, does the epic pose. At the beginning of that showing, they said, "This is no smoke and mirrors, rail-lined bullshit. You're getting the real thing." And then an interview from 2016 with the director from Halo 2, he's like, "Oh no, that entire thing was all smoke and mirrors." Like, if you went off the beaten path of that demo even slightly, the game would crash.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was bad. But I love going into video game history, because like you just find all the greatest things. Like Metroid.
Yeah.
I love the Metroid Prime story and how it got developed.
How did it get developed?
So, Nintendo went out of their comfort zone on this one, and went to I don't remember their name. Hold on. What were they called? Metroid Prime developer. Retro Studios.
Developers.
They went. How dare? They went. No, that was funny. You nearly made me lose my train of thought. That was funny. They went to Retro Studios, and Retro Studios at the time was led by a guy who is a bit of a character, and they somehow managed to convince Nintendo that, like, hey, we can make this game for you, all this kind of stuff. And they're like, okay, we'd like you to make a Metroid game. Okay. And so they get to work on it. And a few years pass. Nintendo's waiting on them. And eventually, they're like, okay, we've waited like 2 years. We haven't gotten anything back from these guys. We're not getting anything back from the CEO. Let's go figure out what the fuck's going on. And they make a few key discoveries. One, the money is not being used properly. And you know how Nintendo is with people when they're not using their money properly.
Right.
And then someone's like, someone's been accessing our servers. For what? I reiterate this. Nintendo is a family-friendly company, so what's the last thing you expect to be on their servers?
I can probably guess.
Take a guess. Go ahead.
Was it porn?
Oh, it was the dirtiest porn.
Oh, boy.
So, Nintendo is like, and who put that there? Well, it wasn't Hiroshima from accounting, I can tell you that much. And they track it all the way back to Retro Studios. And so they send a whole delegation over to Retro. And they get there, and they see people working on something. And they're like, what are you working on? We have had no direction or communication with you guys in months. We've been trying, but we couldn't get through to you. Okay, who's been trying to contact us? Our CEO. Where is he? We don't know. Have you guys been paid? I haven't been paid in months. Okay. They track this fucker down all the way to his mansion in Beverly Hills. And they're like, nope, we don't want this to be a big scandal. We don't want this to be a huge thing. They bought out his contract and said, like, nope, we own Retro now. Fuck you, get out of our sight. That guy would then go on to make the Guy game. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but holy fuck, is it a shit show.
I don't actually know what that is.
It is a game where you answer stupid trivia questions, and you get clips Girls showing their tatas, their titties, the biddies.
Oh, wait, yeah, I've heard of this.
And that game got taken off of shelves all over the world because it had a minor in it. Yeah, and then they tried to make that a selling point because the guy knows no shame.
That is really gross. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it was. It's bad. On the upside, though, no one at Retro, it was only the CEO that was blamed. No one at Retro took any fire from Nintendo. In fact, Nintendo said, okay, here's Masahiro Sakurai. Him and his team are going to oversee your team. They're not going to get in your way. They are going to make, they are going to make suggestions. And we will be watching all of you like a hawk from now on. And Retro said, okay, do we get paid? Here's your money. Yay! And then Metroid Prime came out. And everyone was like, first-person Metroid? That's not going to work. And then what do you know? It worked. It worked damn well. One of the best-selling...
I guess.
One of the best-selling games on GameCube.
There you go.
In fact, they would also then be entrusted with the Donkey Kong franchise, and then the Mario Kart guys would actually go to Retro and say, hey, so we're having trouble with Donkey Kong again? You need the model? Yeah. Could you also design a track? Yes. They scream as they make the Monkey Man track. Game development is hilarious to look into. If you ever can, read up on like all this different stuff. Though, like, I guess like one group that I really want to get into, one community I really want to get into is the Metroid community, because Metroid is sick.
Yeah, I've heard only like a little bit about. I only know a little bit about Metroid.
It is. If you ever just want to play a game where you explore a lot of places and you get to shoot up a lot of stuff and move at your pace, Metroid is a perfect game for you. And most people are like, no, if you're going to play any Metroid game, the one that we all recommend that anybody start with is Fusion. You don't have to... It was a Game Boy game that was re-released on like multiple different eShops and such. But it was a game where the main character encounters a thing called an X-parasite. And what it does is that like it copies something completely. Like it mimics it completely. And it gets into the main character and she absorbs it and she's like, okay, that happened. But then, like, it starts messing with her entire system, and she crash lands on a moon, and the government for space basically, like, grabs her and, like, has to surgically remove her suit to save her.
Oh.
And then she gets, like, this brand new organic suit. It's really, really cool. And then an hour after she leaves, she's called back to the station because something happened. And the parasite got out. And people are like, how to get out? It was like in cold storage. It was completely like locked down. Yeah, it copies everything completely. And when you absorbed it at the beginning of the game, you were maxed out from Super Metroid, the game that came before it. So like imagine like you are in an RPG and you just got like all the sick ass gear. You are maxed out. You are the strongest. You are Toa Lacan, basically.
Sure.
And then next thing you know, you're back to being a tiny little Matoran. And then the thing that turned you back into a Matoran is now walking around as Lacan.
That sounds like... That sounds like it's been the plot to some Bionicle thing. That sounds like that. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure why.
But yeah, basically how they introduce it in the game is that like you complete the first area, you go down an elevator, it blows a hole in the wall after you leave. And then it walks out in your full powered armor, stares at the screen, and all you see is a complete copy of you with no irises or pupils. It's just a clone. And it's terrifying because this thing hunts you down for the rest of the game.
That's pretty badass.
But it's the one everyone recommends because it's the most beginner friendly. And I'm like, I really want to play it again because I used to own it as a kid, but now I don't know what happened to it.
You should.
And then its sequel came out on Switch, and it's called Metroid Dread, and it's so good. I played like an hour of it, and I got hooked, and then I just put it down, and I haven't had time to go play it again. And
Feel that.
Have you ever had that happen to you? Like you play a game and then,
constantly.
Which games did that happen for you?
Fuck. I mean, the thing is, it kind of happened to me with the new Halo, where I was like, initially I was really into it, and then I didn't really have a chance to play it for a while, and since then I've just kind of soured on it, where I'm like, I don't have any desire to play this again.
That's fair.
Which sucks, because I love Halo. The Infinite just kind of didn't stick with me.
That's fair. It's really... God, Halo Infinite is just... The campaign is great. I love the campaign. The online multiplayer, it's good. It's just boring at this point because like they haven't done anything to update the game too much, and it's like, oh. But
controversial take. One of the best Halo online multiplayers, maybe like not necessarily the best, but one of the best was Halo 5. Halo 5's multiplayer was phenomenal. The campaign kind of really sucked, but the multiplayer was so much goddamn fun. Like, holy shit. I love that fucking game. The insane weapon mods, that plasma pistol that shoots black holes is the fun. Dude, the amount of hours I have wasted in Fiesta just murking people with that plasma pistol is... I love it. I love that fucking game. I love everything about Halo 5's multiplayer.
Guess what?
Honestly, I do. It's great.
Guess what?
Yeah?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
No controversial opinion here, because the one thing I will always say about Halo 5, its story sucks, but its gameplay and its online, I have never had much more fun in my life.
I'm gonna call what's up. Oh, okay. Hang on. Right.
No problem.
Oh, I'm gonna take you somewhere.
Oh my god, I love going for rides. Woo! Look at me go.
As long as it's all good. I'm just gonna go into the guest room. It's full of plates and vases and shit from when we cleaned out the closet. Anyway, hello.
I'm
back. But yeah, no, it's great. For me it's a toss up multiplayer wise between Halo 5 and Halo Reach, because Halo Reach's multiplayer is really good.
Oh yeah, we did a Halo
Invasion.
That's actually something I really want to do for a Halo night. Is I gather like whoever I can from like TikTok and from my community and my friends, and we do like an 8v8 invasion on Halo Master Chief Collection, because I really want to fucking do that. Cause
I would love that.
I need to gather people that would be into that. But I
haven't played Halo in a while. I need to get my sea legs back before I commit to that. But God, yeah, that would be so fun.
Cause like we played it earlier with like 6 people, not Invasion, but just in general, and we're like, why is this so much fun? Why are we having so much fun again? Why are we laughing and having a good time? And we played as elites for like a few rounds, and we're like, oh my god, this is the stupidest shit ever. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It was so fun, and I really, really want to do that. Again, we're like, I gather as many people as I can and throw them into like an 8v8. And maybe awesome. Like add a prize at the end or something. But replaying replaying the old Halos with friends, I have found has it kind of reinvigorated my love for it, and I don't know why, honestly. Because like for a while, I'm like,
that's what how Halo's meant to be played. Halo is one of the few games that is really just meant to be played with friends. Ever since Halo 1, it's been that way.
That is totally fair. Because like my fondest memories of Halo, back in Halo 3, me and my brother were playing matchmaking, and we were playing Capture the Flag. Both of our teammates leave, and we're like, no, this isn't how this goes down. We don't fucking quit and leave. We fight this out. And I hop in the Banshee, my brother flies to the middle of the map, grabs the Spartan laser, and we see the enemy team like hooked up into their Warthog, and they have their own Banshee flying around, and we just smoke them. It was the greatest moment where my brother and I went 2v4, and we came out on top.
That's so good.
And being the little brother winning with your big brother is one of the best feelings you can ever have as like a kid, in my opinion.
I would imagine so.
God, and then just playing Halo ODST with your friends, especially with the stupid achievement where like all of you have to hop on mongooses, and you have to make it all the way to the end on legendary. It's so stupid, but it's so much fun.
No, I fucking love ODST. And Firefight, I spent so much time playing Firefight. I like my friend at the time, Nolan, and I played so much fucking Firefight. We played, we I don't remember what difficulty it was on. It was it probably was just normal difficulty because we were kids. But like, we held out for like probably 2 hours at one point, just obliterating the Covenant. It was so much fun.
That's awesome.
So unbelievably fun.
Actually, do you want to know what they did for the
Firefight is awesome.
You want to know what they did for Halo 3 ODST Firefight on Master Chief Collection?
It's not there.
No, it's there. It's all there.
Oh wait, right, no, yes it is. Of course it is. What am I talking about?
They added in 2 things that Bungie wanted to, but were never able to. One, they added in battle rifles. Because the battle rifle was supposed to be in Halo 3 ODST. The files are there, it just was never implemented. Because they didn't have time. And then they threw us all for a loop and said, hey guys, you remember Firefight from Halo Wars 2? Yeah. And remember how the Flood were in that firefight? Yeah. Halo 3 ODST Flood Firefight. Where you fight the Flood.
I didn't even know about that. I have the Master Chief Collection. I didn't even know about that.
It was an update to the game, and it is brutal. Because all it is, Flood Firefight is just you fighting the Flood. And when you go from like big boy Spartan or big boy Elite to tiny boy ODST, where yes, your corpse can be infected, which adds to the wave. And depending on which weapons you had, good luck.
Jesus.
I tried it for myself. And when you play by yourself, you get 2 elite partners. And just seeing elites and Halo 3 ODST was already like that moment where I went... But then, like, fighting the Flood as, like, this ODST, just trying to hold your ground as, like, they keep pushing you into corners, is so much fun. And then my brain's like, can we just have a Halo horror game, please? I'm begging you.
Yeah, there's something to that. Like a kind of Left 4 Dead or like or Resident Evil type shit with the Flood. I would be here for that.
Actually, what was your first reaction to the Flood? I actually have to ask that.
Oh, what was my first reaction to the Flood? Oh man, that was so long ago. I'm not even sure. I was like 10. I was like, the thing is, I played Halo 3 first so I didn't I wasn't exposed to the Flood like through Halo 1, so it wasn't quite as like but I still I was like I think my reaction, I mean, I was a kid, I'd never seen anything like that. I'd never seen anything like anything in Halo at that point, because I was a pretty sheltered kid, but I was just like, I saw this, I'm like, oh my god, this is incredible. This is fucking terrifying, but oh my god, this is so fucking cool. I think it really hit me when I played Halo 1 for the first time and I got to that level. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is actually really fucking scary. Oh my god.
It's I remember when I was like tiny boy and I was like, yeah, killing aliens, everything, this is great. And then you get to the swamp and you're like, where's the elites? Where's the big squid boys? Why is everyone running? Where are my friends? I keep seeing them on the radar. What? Where are they? What's the Flood? The Flood is an alien parasite that is in the Halo lore millions of years old. It's scary. But yeah, like...
All done? Perfect, yeah, thanks.
Then you get inside the base, you're like, why is everyone dead?
Yeah.
They really knew how to build tension in that.
Yeah, they used the helmet cam footage was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was like very very intelligent use of camera angles and all that.
And then and then when you actually fight them, you're like, okay, they're not that bad. They're only close combat. Like we got this. We got guns. We can do this.
And then they lunge at you.
And then they lunge at you, and then they have guns.
Yeah, yeah.
Doomsday Paladin, technically yes, but they're a lot more insidious than that. So my second favorite lore of all time is Halo lore, and I deep dive into that shit. And then when you learn where the Flood actually come from, it's even worse.
Yeah, no, Halo lore is fantastic. That's another I love how cracked out and evil Oni actually is. Like,
oh my god,
brilliant.
I didn't know how I didn't know how evil Oni was until I got to find the short story or the animated comic Mona Lisa. Do you know what that is?
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, it's fucked.
Okay, let me see here. Mona Lisa, Halo. Okay, I'm looking it up on Halopedia real quick. The Mona Lisa is the seventh and longest short story in Halo Evolutions follows. Mona Lisa, which is seriously. It's a flood. It's a flood episode. Okay.
Yep, it's set a few weeks after the events of Halo 1, and Oni sends a prisoner transport out there, and they're thinking about the Flood because they just got the report from John and everything, and they're like, oh, okay, an alien parasite. Okay, maybe we can weaponize this. And they bring back some infected elites and surviving elites from the ring. And then the Mona Lisa goes quiet. And when they get aboard the ship, it's a squad of Marines. And the main character, they call her Mama Bear. It's really great. I love her. She's great. Mama Bear Lopez. And they have no idea what's going on. They're just told from their commanding officer, like, Mona Lisa's gone quiet, go figure out why. And even the officer himself is like, I don't like this. Why am I sending in my men dark when I don't even know the full story? And like the AI is just like, you just gotta do what Oni tells you. I don't like that. And the squad splits off into two, but they keep cutting back, and like people go missing. Like it's quiet, and that's all it is. It's building up. It's quiet the entire time, and the only time it got loud before it like gets really really loud is when the pilot of their Pelican opens up the door thinking like, oh, it's Martine, I'll be fine, and then she gets dragged away, and all you hear is the sounds of her pistols going off. But the scariest fucking thing throughout this entire thing is the opening of it. Basically, they find a cryopod and they bring it aboard, and they open it up, and it's a prisoner. And he lunges out covered in blood, like, don't let them get me! And he's choking on his own blood, and the sergeant, she's being a tough ass, but she's like, if you tell me where you came from, I'll get you medical help. Like, come on, talk to me. And all he says is, like, they got to everyone. I was the only one to escape. Mona Lisa. And they're just like, what the fuck? If you can find the animated comic, because it is such a good story. It has you like by the balls the entire time. And it was a short story first in the Halo Evolutions omnibus. But
it's a full. Here it is, the full movie. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, okay. It is. It is a time sink. If you have the time, watch it.
I'll make the time. That sounds amazing.
It is wonderful because you're just getting Marine perspective when dealing with it, and there's no chief, there's no Cortana, there's nobody. It's just a squad of Marines on an infected ship, and it is it's good stuff.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
Oh, that's the shittiest part too. Is that like how I actually watched it originally was on the Halo Waypoint channel. If you remember what that was.
Yeah, I do.
I watched it all there, and I watched a few other shorts too. And a lot of these shorts are actually really, really good. Like they had Headhunter, they had Cold Protocol, and then they also had Mona Lisa as like their animated shorts. And then there was The Survivor, which I think you'd actually really like The Survivor. Because it's an elite who's going through like this one planet that he glassed from years ago, and he's basically like he's going through like his memories of like when he worked with when he served under the Covenant, and he's basically like questioning like, why didn't I see it there? It was so obvious. Like, how could I have not seen? Why was I so blind? And it's made very clear that he doesn't like humanity either. And he's just kind of going through the motions of traveling through his past sins, trying to figure out what the hell to do with himself. And it's really, really good.
I mean, that sounds fucking awesome.
God, Halo books are like, why is Halo so good?
It's because it's a bunch of sci-fi nerds who have this wonderful canvas to work with, and they do. I mean, it's brilliant, because it's what happens when you have like sci-fi nerds that actually have good ideas, where it's not as much as I like, just good guys, bad guys, and explosions, and that's fun. You can only get so far with that. You need to get, thoughtful with it eventually. And if you want it to be worth anything. And I mean, that's kind of like, that's one of the reasons Bionicle is so good. It's one of the reasons Halo is so good. It's why 40K's lore is so awesome. It's all about, adding the subtext, adding intelligent subtext. And yeah, I mean, because intelligent subtext makes or breaks a sci-fi universe.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I did want to ask you, what is your favorite part about the Halo universe?
I think, well, probably honestly, like bringing up the Oni thing, how cracked out and evil Oni actually is, how they starved an entire planet of elites with genetically modified grain,
Oh God, I
is
forgot
just
about that.
yeah. No, I found out about all this, like all this shit, like I found out more about the Halo lore like recently, relative recently, like, but like I got like deep into it. I'm like, this is fucking cool. I love like the the way, like what I love most about the Halo lore, it relates to Oni insofar as like how they justify their they justify their, you know, fucked up exploits with the Spartans through their war with the Covenant, because it's like exactly how, like, you know, how it's very, it's a very interesting look at like American wartime bureaucracy and how it works, specifically like CIA stuff,
Oh yeah.
like arming Contras, shit like that is basically has the same energy as like a lot of the shit that Oni does.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah,
How far did you actually deep dive into the Oni lore?
probably not far enough. At least not. I don't remember much.
So, do you remember the Covenant faction from Halo 4?
You mean the what are they called? Silent Storm, something like that. What are they called again?
They're Jul Mandama's Covenant remnant.
Yeah, Jul Dama. Yeah, what
Oni is directly responsible for them.
That seems about right. How did that happen?
So, when the Covenant broke off into whatever the fuck, Jul Mandama was a school teacher, actually. Like, he actually taught in school. And then a Oni raid, a precise AI calculated raid, targeted Jul Mandama specifically because he was a very good talker. Like, he actually, like, motivate people.
Mm-hmm.
They went out of their way to kidnap him and torture him for 2 years after the events of Halo 3. They torture him and then they let him go. Just with the knowledge of, oh, sorry, we got bad intel from the Arbiter. And that makes Jul Mandama pissed. He still hates humanity, but he also hates Arbiter now. And so Oni, also secretly using Kigyar vessels, supplies Jul Mandama with the manpower, the weapons, the arms, to go start a civil war with the Arbiter. Because it's a really fucked up thing. Because they want...
That's fucking brilliant.
They want payback from the Covenant War, but they also want to make sure the elites are beaten and docile. That they cannot do anything without humanity. And it's so fucked up because they make sure that every time Arbiter fights Jul Mandama and his Covenant, whenever Arbiter's about to win, they make it a Theoric victory. Because they have Covenant ships under Oni's control, and they just kind of pop in, drop some nukes on Arbiter's forces, and then leave. And it's just like, holy shit, dude.
Fucking brilliant.
It's so fucking third-dimensional chess. It's terrifying to read. And
that has the same energy as like those like CIA memes where it's just like when you bring in a bunch of guerrillas to overthrow the dictator that you installed, when you introduced a bunch of guerrillas to overthrow the dictator you installed, when you introduced a bunch of guerrilla fighters to overthrow the dictator you installed, and it just keeps going back and back.
It's even more fucked up too because Oni, actually, there's another really fucked up story, and it's an individual story. They go to an independent news reporter, and they're like, oh yeah, we want to like request a dossier on the Master Chief, like his entire history and everything. And he's like, yeah, I could do that. Like, Chief's a war hero. I'm more than happy to do that. Patriotic to the UNSC.
Mm-hmm.
They fuck with this poor fucker because they needed a scapegoat for the Spartan program debacle. Because Oni went, okay, so who knows about the Spartan program? Well, everybody. Yeah, but who's asking questions? A few people are. How many people? Enough that we can't just black bag them and toss them. Okay, okay. Who's this one guy that we know that we've been watching forever that we can like drop this stuff on, and then we can blame Halsey for everything? Oh, I have this perfect guy right here. And it was an audio drama at the time. But the whole thing is that you're going along with this guy the entire time from his perspective. You're getting like the little beats and drops. You actually meet Staff Sergeant Mendez, the guy who trained the Spartans, and he was instructed by Oni to tell him, stop looking into things. This rabbit hole goes deep. Don't do it. And this guy gets everything. He's got Oni dead to fucking rights. And then he goes on a talk show, and they prime the talk show host with all these counterpoints. And they shatter this poor fucker on the HoloNet, which is basically space internet. They shatter this poor fucker just to get out that, like, Halsey's the one to blame, not Oni. Oni was like, she didn't tell us they were kids. She didn't tell us anything. Nah, blood, the Spartans were the best thing that ever happened to the UNSC, but goddamn that Halsey, dude. And then they put this fucker in Midnight Facility. If you guys don't know what Midnight Facility is, it's the Guantanamo Bay that you don't know about.
Yeah.
Of
course they would have a Gitmo.
Oni is so fucked up. But it's such a fascinating read.
It's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. No, I mean, the reason it's so fascinating, the reason it's fucking brilliant, is because it's it's all based on like real shit. It's all based on specifically like stuff that like America has done at points. Like, I mean, the whole Spartan, like, we were trying to do stuff like that. We were trying to make super soldiers and shit like that, and we did it. Like, a lot of, I mean, it's like, it's not just like MK Ultra and stuff like that, because MK Ultra's fucked up.
Oh, it was.
But there's other stuff. Like, there's a guy that there are not many books that are actually censored in the United States. There is one, and it's a book about MK Ultra that an investigative journalist did, and basically the United States government went after this guy.
Oh no!
It's essentially, it's like the highest honor in journalism is to be murdered by the CIA.
Oh yeah,
that is, and that's basically that's part of what keeps happening. Is just like there's people who look into this stuff, and who publish some stuff, but they never get all the way to the end of it because they get what's the word? They get
too close to the truth.
They get too close to the truth, and they the government finds a way to get the media to slander them, or they die.
Man, man, what tragic suicide! 2 bullets to the back of the head and fell out of a hospital window. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's stuff like that does happen.
Oh yeah,
there's the U.S. government did this a lot with the Black Panthers, where there's literally a story of I don't remember what the fuck his name was, but it was a guy. It was like a Black Panther, like an organizer. I think the story was like one of the things he was trying to do was he was trying to get like a stop sign put at an intersection or something, so that like kids would stop getting run over. It was something like that. It was the impetus that they used to be like, oh wow, can't believe he killed himself, and he's literally been shot in the back of the head.
Fuck!
He was literally shot in the back of the head.
I think I know that one. I think that was like the Chicago. I would think that was in the Chicago 7 movie. Oh my god.
Yep, probably.
Oh my god.
It probably was. The thing, this was like a guy who was like tied to Fred Hampton. Do you know who Fred Hampton is?
I think I do. Maybe.
That's another guy. That is another dude whose story very nearly just didn't get told because it was a combination of the local police and the FBI working together to kill this guy. They
yeah.
murdered they murdered him and a bunch of his friends, and and crippled a bunch of his friends. Like they literally, like, intentionally, this is gonna get graphic. They intentionally shot a dude's dick off.
Ooh. Nope.
Yeah.
If
It's,
if I hold my balls when I see Goku get punched in the nuts, nope.
Yeah,
Don't like hearing that.
It's incredibly fucked up. They, like, the thing is, they apparently, supposedly, the way the story is told by the credible sources that are not the, police, is that he was probably drugged before the raid, so that he couldn't really do anything, and they shot him dead in his sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fred Hampton was assassinated by the U.S. government.
Yes, Doomsday Palette. Oni is like every secret service, every form of intelligence agency from around the world. It's not just the CIA, even though a lot of the stuff in the Halo books really does paint them like the CIA.
Yeah,
And
it's every alphabet soup organization you can think of.
pretty much. My favorite thing from the Halo universe, though, is actually the most recent stuff, and it is the Banished. I love the Banished, and I remember when Halo Wars 2 was announced and they showed the E3 trailer, and all you hear is just like, Douglas is down. Repeat, Douglas is down. Spartan 00092 is down. And all you see is Aatrox light up Chainbreaker and him saying, "Run, little demons." I love the Banished. And a lot of people are like, "Why do you like the Banished so much?" I love their design, I love their vehicles, I love their weapons, I love their mentality. I love Aatrox. Aatrox is like the most badass character I've ever seen. Brutes went from my most hated species in Halo to one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And
the Banished give the Brutes more character.
yeah, because they're not all like these brutalistic they're not chest thumpers like Tartarus was, or like the Brute Chieftains were in Halo 3. No, they have character, and just learning about Aatrox and then having that opening cutscene from Halo Wars 2 where he just dismantles Red Team and breaks Douglas's shoulder just by like grabbing on and squeezing down, and just like seeing him pick up the helmet, which by the way weighs a ton, and him just saying, "As I suspected, nothing but a man." And that made me like the fucker instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, Aatrox in Halo Wars 2 was played by Don DiMaggio, the same guy who played Jake the Dog and Bender.
No shit.
Yeah, same guy.
It's incredible.
My mind exploded as I look at Aatrox, all I could think about when he just stops the elite.
Bender.
All I can think about now in that cutscene where like he stops the elite by just grabbing his hand as he's like trying to thrust into his head, stands over him and is like, "Bite my shiny metal ass." That's all I think about now.
It's so good.
Oh my god, it was so good. And then just like...
It has the same energy as people who did, like, you remember when Peter Capaldi got announced as the Doctor, and people just did a bunch of edits of, like, his other work, editing, like, his like, voiceover shit into Doctor Who? Because on his other work, he's, like, one of the most, like, Peter Capaldi, like, plays these incredibly foul-mouthed, like, really terrible characters.
Oh, yeah.
So they edit that in, and it's just the most crass thing, like... Doctor Who overlaid with just Peter Capaldi just swearing like a sailor. It's so funny.
Oh my god, I love finding when like you just find voice actors where you don't think they belong and they fit in so well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just so wonderful to learn. But
greatest voice actor of all time is Keith David.
Why am I forgetting Keith David? Hold on. If I see a role, I will instantly know.
You'll know. It relates to Halo.
RB.
It relates. Yep. It relates to
And
to my tattoo.
And
It's Keith
Spawn and everything, yes.
Yep.
I just
He's like 50% voice actor, 50% real actor. He got his big break, I think, when he did John Carpenter's The Thing. All I want is an edit of Halo where the Arbiter gets really close to Spartan Locke and goes, "Is it the Frank or the beans?" that's all I want. That's all I want.
You could do that for the Halo 2 anniversary cutscene where it was promoting Halo 5. You could do that there.
Yeah.
Actually, so something that else might pique your interest. Keith David plays King Andreas in Disney's Amphibia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a really fun show. I recommend it. When you have a show that makes the joke, don't stare into the abyss, Anne. After all, it stares back. And
he plays in the other Disney movie that he's in is Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, because he's the villain in that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he has a beautiful voice.
Oh, he does. That man could read. That man could sing the phone book to me, and I will forever be at his feet.
God damn it! Yeah, absolutely. 703-651. It's like, oh, God, yes.
Daddy, yes, please. But yeah, going back to
the Arbiter gets out his energy sword, and he's like, "I didn't take it out for air." That's a Requiem for a Dream reference, which is a tough movie to watch. Tell you what, it's the only good acting job Jared Leto's ever done. The only
Shots fired.
I hate Jared Leto with a passion.
I hate him too. I don't know why anyone keeps hiring him.
It's because he has clout. He has a name. He has a sex cult apparently.
What?
I found out about that recently. Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna Google this to make sure I'm not lying. Hang on. Jared Leto sex cult. Why people are convinced Jared Leto runs a cult. Okay. I'm just gonna read through this. Let's see what this is like. He's known for his wacky red carpet appearances and hit and miss movies. Yeah, that's a
take.
Which include everything from Dallas Buyers Club to Morbid.
It's Morbid time.
It's Morbid time. But the cult rumors all began when the 50-year-old, I can't believe he's 50.
He's fucking 50?
Yeah. He's a vampire, dude. He doesn't age. It led an intense 3-day retreat on a private island where he dressed in all white and encouraged attendees to get matching tattoos. Yeah, no, I can see that here. His band's running motto is, yes, this is a cult, but does the actor actually run a cult? And what claims have been made against him? The cult rumors began back in 2019 when a photo was posted to Twitter showing a long-haired Leto dressed in a white robe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. There's also, he has like a ranch. Oh, yeah, no, this looks like a fucking cult. I'm seeing pictures here. This is, woo-wee! Ah, boy, yeah, okay. So there's a retreat. Activities during the retreat included time with the musicians, Jared and Jared's brother, drummer Shannon Leto, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But eyebrows were raised when fans revealed that they were also getting matching tattoos of the band's logo, that as part of the package, and dressed in all white to match the frontman Jared.
Don't worry, Susan. Just get the tattoo.
There was something recently, and my friend, I think this is my friend Lily told me about this. I wouldn't, but it was basically, I think Lily told me about this. He bought he has a farm out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and he just brings a bunch of people there.
As any cultist would do.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's okay, but my opinion on Jared Leto's acting is he was impeccable in Requiem for a Dream. He was perfect, the perfect character for that very, very somehow both grounded and surreal movie. It's both grounded and deeply surreal at the same time, and he pulls it off perfectly. Everything else he has done he's been riding his own coattails.
That's fair.
And I because he's a terrible Joker. He was fucking atrocious in Morbius because it's fucking Morbius. He wasn't granted, he wasn't necessarily given all that much to work with, but he's also like the weakest link in Blade Runner 2049. Like absolutely the weakest link.
Yep.
Like I saw Jared Leto, and of course, part of this is my own biases against Jared Leto, obviously, and I'm like, I saw him in the movie because I didn't know he was going to be in it, and I'm like, fuck. But then I was like, okay, I'll give him a chance. This is also Blade Runner has kind of the same energy where it's grounded and absurd, but in a different way. This could work. But then he's just like being so beyond extra in an unnecessary way.
Which one?
Like,
which character did he play in Blade Runner again?
He's the guy without the eyes.
Oh yeah, I remember that now, because I watched that movie with my dad. Because my dad was like, "Oh my god, it's Blade Runner. It's my child, Willie. We have to go see this." And I'm like, "Do we have to? It's Harrison Ford's in it. Okay, I'm down."
Yeah, no, it's great. I love 2049. Also, here's a weird pitch that I just thought of, but might be super funny.
What?
Cyberpunk 2077, but you replaced Keanu Reeves with Jared Leto. It would make the game worse on some level, but it also kind of makes sense because it feels like Keanu Reeves is like playing Jared Leto at points because he's in a band. He's like a.
It's really off-putting. Because when you put like Keanu Reeves, when you think of Keanu Reeves, you think of like this really quiet, really nice guy. And then when like he's like, "Wake up, samurai! We got a city to burn." You're just like, "No, you're the Paragon. Don't do this, Daddy."
I don't want to, as pretty as he is, I don't want to hear Keanu Reeves talk about his cock. Like I'm not here for it. It makes me uncomfortable for some reason, and it's just because it's not congruous to his character. Like, I think he was probably tapped for this, not just because he's Keanu Reeves, but like because of like the John Wick stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because like being like a.
It was from what I've read on CDR's notes on this, is that they wanted Keanu Reeves because A, star power helps sell the game. B, John Wick, and C, his role in the Matrix as Neo. Because the Matrix is very cyberpunk.
Right, of course. I totally spaced on that for some reason.
That's fine. I too don't remember much about the Matrix. It was only one movie.
Oh yeah.
Man, what a shame. I really wish they made sequels for that. Anyway.
It would have been crazy if they'd made sequels. It would have been absolutely wild if they'd made sequels. Can you imagine if they'd made sequels to The Matrix? How good that could have been?
Oh, man, dude. You could really see, like, the machines finally being beaten. That would be a really interesting story. Maybe we could get a little bit more about Agent Smith.
Oh, man, yeah. Jesus Christ. No, I have very intentionally not watched Matrix 2 and 3. Like, I have not watched them.
You saved yourself pain. I watched 2 and 3, and I'm like, I watched it, I'm like, wow. I'm watching nothing. At the same time, I'm watching everything, and it's terrible.
This is like, I watched a very interesting synopsis of those two movies. Do you know Sophie from Mars?
Yes!
Sophie from Mars like did an incredible like thing where she was basically talking about like the Matrix needs to be like the two Matrix movies, like the two other ones, need to be watched back to back and treated as a single movie, and then they get better if you do that. And she explained it really well, and in principle, having never seen them, in principle I agree with her. But it doesn't salvage the content. I didn't. Again, another thing I didn't need from The Matrix was like Lawrence Fishburne doing a swan dive into an orgy, basically. Like
oh my god! I'm watching. Be me when I was tiny boy watching The Matrix, going, haha, funny slow-mo effects, really cool, and then all of a sudden we go from like this really weird thing where like the chosen one is here, and I remember specifically what my dad said after we were done watching the movie. After that scene, he's like, "Son, what did we come for again?" And I'm like, "We came for the awesome slow-mo effects, Dad." He's like, yeah, and then I hear him look at my mom and then say to her, "I don't remember coming to the movie to watch a cult orgy."
Yeah. It feels like, as someone who just, in concept, or rather, I have nothing against orgies. It's very hard to write that into something without it, with it making sense. You can't really, it's very difficult to write an orgy scene into anything and have it be any more than what it is, which is an orgy.
The only two places I've seen it work was in two 40K books, and that's because, and I quote, Slanesh was the major focus of those books.
No, but see, there it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Just conceptually.
But
okay, let's think about this. Let's think about it this way. I know it keeps happening in sci-fi for some reason. It's because I guess sci-fi nerds are also just obscenely horny, and I get that.
I mean, you can't get hornier than the guy who made Starship Troopers.
Okay, yeah. I love that movie. I love that movie.
It's a good movie. Terrible books.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I mean, because the books have nothing to do with the books are libertarian libertarian schlock.
Military libertarian jack off schlock.
Yeah. It's very, very American.
I remember Overly Sarcastic Productions did a breakdown of one of his books, and it was like The Man from Mars or whatever, and that book is wild.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Don't worry, people. Sex should be free and open, and you should do it with whoever you want. Unless it's two men doing it or two women doing it, then it's wrong. And it's just, humanity reaches enlightenment through sex.
And yet somehow we're still homophobic.
I just
love it. You love to see it.
What is happening? What is this book? There's an entire scene where the girl gets psychic powers, and she's sees herself as a burlesque dancer at this burlesque show through the eyes of men, and she's like, wow, these girls are really attractive. I'm really attractive. Damn, I'd sleep with those bitches. And then the second she snaps out of it, she's like, oh, thank God, I was only thinking like the men were. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this book? Who are these people?
That is insane.
Really said that females can't have sexual attraction.
And the scariest thing is that the main character, who's this guy from Mars, who's this psychic awakened monstrosity of a man, everyone's just like, oh yeah, we want, he has the sole inheritor of Mars. If he doesn't like you, you just disappear. You just go poof. Someone could delete on you. And no one questions it. No one has a big reaction to it. He just makes the whole U.S. military disappear. And no one questions it. It's just a thing.
The dream.
The dream. But everyone's just no one questions it. In fact, the only guy who does is told by the therapist of the book, stop being a prude.
Oh! Take a leak. I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a leak. I'll be right back.
Okay. Chat, I don't know what the fuck is with this book. I actually have to find this. Hold on. Starship Troopers author. Heinlein. Robert Heinlein. Okay. Robert Heinlein. Robert Heinlein books. I'm not shopping. I don't want to buy this fucker's books. They're terrible. 6 column, no. Science adventure, no. Tunnel in the sky, no. Beyond the horizon, no. Familiar sky, puppet master. Fuck. What is this man? the Star Beast.
This man's is obsessed with space.
He's the one that really got Space Marines going. What is it? Mars.
I return.
Hello! I'm trying to find the book.
Hello.
I'm trying to find the book.
Lovely.
Let's go look up Overly Sarcastic Productions thing. Jesus Christ. A Stranger in a Strange Land. That's what the book's called. It is. It is fucking wild of a book. And then, like, it's basically the book. The whole book is just him kind of like giving off his libertarian diatribe. And how this man functioned, I do not know. Remember, children, sex is fine. An open sex is fine. And cannibalism is fine. You should be able to eat your neighbors because you're a prude if you think that it's wrong.
Okay, but did you know that consensual cannibalism is legal in Canada so long as nobody dies?
I didn't want to know that.
It's fucking weird.
That's my fiance, by the way.
Hi.
Northerners are fucking savages.
Oh, we are. We ride polar bears all day and fight with moose. It's terrifying.
It's to make sure
Love
that
it.
people who are trapped in the mountains without any communication don't starve to death.
Oh, that's thoughtful.
How thoughtful! I didn't know that, by the way.
Jesus.
I get into some weird shit when I can't sleep.
Thanks for the nightmare fuel, babe.
Sorry.
Hey, you want to go camping?
Oh, God! But
Yeah, yet another reason I don't go. I never go out into the fucking wilderness.
Same.
Nature hates me. Nature hates me.
So I really struggle with campfires and such.
Mm.
I love campfires. I love like sitting by the fire, hanging with my friends and my family, and just talking and cooking food over the fire. I hate them though because the smoke, for some reason, is always attracted to me. It always blows my way.
It's because you're afraid of it.
I'm not afraid of it. I just hate it. And yeah, Robert Heinlein. He's the guy that got Space Marines off the ground. But then, like, you wonder why, like, when you watch the Starship Troopers movies, why they don't follow the books. And then you listen to the director of those movies, and he says, if I wanted to be depressed for 2 hours, I would have gone outside and stared at the American government for a while.
Yeah,
So
that's about right.
he basically said that the books are so fucking depressing that he's amazed Robert Heinlein didn't kill himself.
I mean, that's about right. Yeah. No, I have not read them because I am already a slow reader. I save my reading for things I actually want to enjoy.
I've read synopses of them, and I can tell you right now, all they are, you don't even get the Bug War. The Bug War is a chapter. It's mostly just him jerking off the U.S. military.
Right, yeah.
And basically saying,
and
like...
He uses the bugs to yell about communism!
Yes!
From what I understand. Yeah.
The bugs are just communism. And they nuke them off screen. And you're just like,
Right.
what is happening? And, like, when you watch the Starship Troopers movies, you're like, why is this so comedically different? And then the creators are like, oh no, we're taking the piss out of his books. We're laughing at him. Because, like, as the director said...
parodies of the books?
Yes, they are direct parodies.
Yeah.
Because the human faction is just so hilarious, like, so cartoonishly fascist.
Yeah.
Like, at the end...
Neil Patrick Harris is basically just wearing an SS uniform at the end.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's like the other stuff. Like they look like a weird cross between like space soldiers, obviously, and then like this weird cross between like American and like 30s German, like Wehrmacht type stuff.
Oh yeah.
Kind of. At least to some extent. But then at the end, Neil Patrick Harris is literally just in an SS uniform, basically. It's like, oh yeah, okay, no, I get what they're alluding to.
Puts his hand on the bug. They're afraid of us!
Classic. So good.
Oh my god. Actually, a fun fact that I didn't know about, but thanks to Linkara, Power Rangers Lost in Space, the military they used in Power Rangers Lost in Space used the costumes for the mobile infantry for their security forces in Power Rangers Lost in Space. Yeah, I was actually really shocked to learn about that.
Cool.
So, like, when you watch Power Rangers Lost in Space and you see, like, their security forces on the space station using the gear from Starship Troopers, you're like, when did it get Nazified in here?
Like, this is discomforting, and I'm not sure why.
Oh my god,
Oy.
The Starship Troopers movie is something entirely.
It really is.
It's where I learned.
I haven't seen any of the sequels, but
oh my god, the sequels. The second one actually nearly made me throw up.
Really, what's that?
Do you like parasites that take over people's bodies?
In principle, yes.
So
No.
the entire movie,
No.
is that a squad of Marines gets stuck on a planet, and they're basically like trying to get this communications network back up, so they could call the ships in orbit to get them out of there. And then 3 people manage to slink their way in through the line, to the bug line, and they get back inside, and they get the communications working. The thing wasn't broken, they were just being jammed. And so, slowly, these 3 begin to infect the whole unit. Like, the girl that's infected sleeps with some of the men. The other guy sleeps with some of the female soldiers to infect them. One of the guys just straight up, like, finds the techie that fixed the comms array, and he fell apart, and the bug jumps out of the guy who fell apart and jumps into that guy. And it's so fucking gross. The whole movie is so
it's
fucked.
like Starship Troopers meets The Thing.
Yes! Oh my god, that is the
Okay.
perfect way to put it. And, like, it has, like, this really fucked up ending because the main character is a psychic girl who is with the mobile infantry, and she's pregnant. And by the end of the movie, the bugs actually do bring up a good point. We didn't start this war, you did. Like, they actually do bring up the good point, like, because the books say, like, humanity encroaches on their turf. The bugs are defending themselves. And the bugs actually do bring up the good point that, like, you invaded our shit, we're just fighting back. And this is how we're going to destroy you. And by the end of the movie, the girl has her baby, and she's, like, at this, propaganda rally, and fucking guy dressed like Neil Patrick fucking Harris at the end of the first movie walks up and says, "Grow up quick, little guy. We need more meat for the grinder." And the girl just, like, walks off staring at the guy like, holy fuck. It's a really fucked up movie. It nearly made me throw up.
Yeah. I remember that I kind of had a similar reaction to watching The Thing. You've seen The Thing, yeah?
Oh, I've seen The Thing, yeah.
It's great.
Oh, it
It's
is.
a spectacular movie. Yet another winner from Keith David.
Oh, yeah.
Great actor.
Actually, the final scene in that movie, do you know which one's The Thing?
It is one of them, but he wasn't. The director was Carpenter was like specifically like, I didn't specify because you're not really supposed to know. No one's supposed to know.
There's a little hint.
It's just that one of them.
There's a little hint. one of the guys drinks kerosene.
Yeah, that's supposedly it's Kurt Russell's character drinks kerosene. So Keith David would be that's the theory.
Yeah, that's the theory.
There's also the theory that Kurt Russell drinks kerosene insofar as he thinks that it is actual vodka, and he drinks it and he realizes, oh shit, this thing doesn't know that it's kerosene, and that's how he realizes.
Yeah, actually, that's the one thing that keeps confusing me about the thing is that like, does it like just take over your body, or like, does it just like kill you, eat you, then like mimic you?
I think it takes over your body. That's from what I understand, because it's not like they don't find somebody's dismembered corpse.
Yeah, because I'm like,
right?
Yeah, because I'm just like sitting here like, how does this work?
I think it takes over the body and then mutates it, because I mean that's what it does to the dog initially.
Oh yeah. Oh. No,
yeah, that was rough.
The one thing that always gets me is puppers. If like a pupper gets hurt in anything, I'm just like, nope, that thing has to die.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the entire impetus for the impetus for the entire John Wick franchise.
From the 1980s or from 2011?
1980s, the 2011 film is
1980s.
garbage.
I haven't seen the 2011 one, and I don't plan to.
Oh, it's garbage. They actually, it's a whole Alien 3 again with that studio. That made the 2011 film. Because the guys were like, hey, look at like all these cool like practical effects that we made. And like the script is all like this and this, and when you read the original script, you're like, why didn't they go with this? The studio said, no, CGI it. Why? Fuck you.
It's pretty much like with a lot of that's how CGI was. Like people forget how bad CGI was until like very recently, like for the most part.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember it getting good with James Cameron's Avatar, which by the way, that's the only claim to fame for that movie.
Yeah, I mean that was like when Avatar came out, that was a major shift in just the general use and understanding of CGI. I think was when that movie came out. Because there had been like a couple of geniuses before that, like the guys who did Terminator 2, and like a couple of other things where you're just like, oh, that was CGI, holy shit. But most of it was like the Scorpion King or Spawn, right? Like live action Spawn. Like,
the Rock's head on the mummy.
Most of it was not good.
No, it wasn't.
Like, most of it was very bad.
Yep.
Like, most of CGI fucking sucked, and I'm surprised, on some level, it ever got off the ground. And I think if it hadn't been for specifically Terminator and then Avatar, like, it would not be as common as it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is not, because for a long time it was not the cheaper option.
Oh,
like,
it wasn't.
It was not, it used to just be worse in every way than practical effects.
I mean,
in every way. And like, I mean, like John Carpenter's The Thing is perfect evidence of that. Like, that entire movie is practical effects, incredible practical effects.
Oh yeah. I think also the Star Wars prequels actually helped with the CGI. Like a lot of people actually went to Lucasfilms to get like CGI crowd shots when they needed to, because they had that down put where it's just like, oh, you need like a CGI crowd, boom, done. Mm-hmm. And like Lucasfilms was like very good to go for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing that made Star Wars as good as it did. Like the old Star Wars was the fact that like so much of it was practical effects, and then Lucas airbrushed in a bunch of extra TIE fighters, and it just kind of, you know, spoiled the magic a little bit.
I just remember that JonTron clip now. Fuck, where it's just like, put one there, never clean, never clean, never clean, and I'm in control of my life, there's nothing wrong with this! And then like, blows everything up.
Yeah.
I just remember that.
Yeah.
Fuck. I feel bad every time.
We
like
finally got a handle on CGI, and now we know how to use it, kind of.
And now we underpay all of our creators. Yay!
Exactly. That's how it's done.
Fuck.
Because computer skills are not real. as most people see it. They're like, it's either undervalued and seen as bullshit, or it's seen as something that is so valuable that it's worth exploiting horribly.
Oh yeah. I actually, so for my job, you know what I do.
Mm.
I slaved over this 30K history video for like a few days. Phoenix can actually say
a few days, more like 3 weeks.
Oof. And
You're blocking out parts of your memory there, babe.
I think I am. But I remember getting into an argument with my uncle online, and basically he said like my job was worthless. And I'm just sitting here with a video where I'm not even halfway done at that point, and I have dropped 2 days of my life on this. And I'm like, I wonder what the fuck he would say if I sat in here in this sweltering room, because I was at my old place when I made that video.
And there was absolutely no airflow in that office.
There was no airflow in that office. I was stuck in a stink office. I was practically chem bombing myself every day.
Ugh.
And I did not leave that office unless it was for the bathroom or for food. How long did I stay up some nights working on that video?
Your usual bedtime's around 11 o'clock. While you were working on that, you stayed up until around 3.
I was dedicated!
I learned healthy work habits.
Oh yeah, I do. And that's why I hired an editor.
That was very clever. How's that been going, by the way?
She starts next month.
Oh, fantastic.
And she is an absolute wonderful being. She is a musician as well. Yes. In fact, I've let her use my office here a few times to record music.
Huh.
Even though this room is
awesome.
horrible for soundproofing.
Yeah, we still need to get you that phone.
Yeah, we really do.
I mean, even without foam, like if you have a bunch of stuff sitting around, that's gonna be better. Like you have that shelf full of stuff. I mean, that's gonna help absorb sound.
Oh yeah,
Curtains will help absorb sound. Everything that is like irregular, or made of any kind of fluff helps absorb sound.
Poster.
By the way, yeah, if you want a cheaper option for soundproofing, is just getting rugs for the wall.
Rugs?
Investing in foam. Foam is way more expensive than it should be. They upcharge you on foam. Don't do foam. Do rugs.
Bastards.
Shag
carpets. Got it.
Shag carpets. It's especially like, I mean, it's, you can also just do like regular rugs and stuff. You can find stuff that's actually nice as well, because shag carpets are the most effective. But they're also fucking hideous often, especially if you hang them from the wall. So, like, I wouldn't blame you for going for something else. But, like, the foam paneling is a bit of a scam.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Yeah.
only use foam to transport models anyways.
Yeah, which also it works questionably well, I guess.
Oh.
The way it was described for me, like, the Games Workshop boxes for transporting stuff, is that my friend Scott was like, yeah, they are great for transporting Space Marines and nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah. No, because I've tried putting my Necrons in those boxes. I have broken a death mark.
They're not
I've broken a death mark because of it. And I, like little pieces chip off every now and again, and I'm like, I hate this. Especially because the spikier your army, the worse it's going to be.
I play Chaos Space Marines. How do you think I feel?
Well, there you go.
Actually, so there's been an update with Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarves broke the game.
I heard about the dwarves. I mean, they also said that about the Tau railgun, but that was just because people hated Tau.
Yep. No, dwarves actually broke the game in half.
Oh boy. So how did that happen?
Their army gimmick is that they basically put totems on things. They just point at a thing and it gets a totem. And how it works is that put a totem on a thing, you could stack the totems on targets. And how the totems work is that if you make a unmodified hit roll of for each totem, it's like +1, so it's like 6, 5, 4, If you hit on a 4, which is their ballistic skill, by the way, that's just their standard. You automatically wound. You just need to hit. You skip the whole wound phase. Yeah, you ever wanted to see...
It's like marker lights on PCP.
Yeah, it's marker lights on PCP.
That's terrible.
Oh,
Who thought that was a good idea?
The people that designed the book, because apparently, from what we've just learned recently, is that the guys at GW do not talk with their playtesters. The playtesters try to give them notes, and they're like, nope, ship it. And then you stand there, bewildered, as GW just set their own fucking game on fire. And it sucks, because all the competitive players are now buying dwarves, and guess what? We now have an officially banned army in all competitive play.
Well, we all wanted dwarves. That's what people kept clamoring for. They wanted dwarves. They wanted squats back. And now you got it. You fucking happy? No, you're not.
Is it bad that every time I look at their main transport vehicle, all I see is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bus?
I haven't even looked at dwarf stuff.
Oh my god, it is the funniest shit.
I've just heard about it.
You just have to look at their transport.
I haven't really done any 40K in a really long time. I haven't played in over a year. I haven't done any painting in a really long time. I just recently found one of the models that I bought that was completely unpainted because I wanted to do another Tau proxy infantry army and make it out of the Saurians, the Age of Sigmar guys. What are they called again? The dinosaur people.
Why am I forgetting their name? Oh my god, why am I forgetting their name? The name of the lizard folk from Warhammer. I forgot their name. I think they're just called lizard folk, but...
Well, the lizard folk. I basically gave them, Tau guns, is essentially what I did.
Okay.
And I made some infantry soldiers, but and I wanted to turn the start collecting box comes with a raptor.
Oh, they're just lizard folk?
Lizard men.
Lizard men, sorry, lizard men.
So they come with the start collecting box comes with this dinosaur guy.
Love you, babe.
Comes with this guy.
Yeah, big boy.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to mount a railgun to him and use him as a broadside proxy, but he wasn't the right size and his base wasn't right either. So I didn't do that. And now I have this. I picked him up again recently. I was like, I'm gonna paint him. I'm gonna paint him and make him into a nice model. And I have some little soldiers here that he's just gonna be a display model. Big Dino Boy. Big Dino Boy.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
I've got the first layer of painting.
I'm gonna show you their main transport tank. That's the equivalent of their fucking.
Oh, fuck.
It is just the neural.
Great.
It is just the Ninja Turtles vehicle, right?
It kind of looks like it, yeah. God, that is such a great aesthetic. I love that.
They're broken as fuck.
What does that remind me of? What does that remind me of? What does that look like? As well, it's sure the Ninja Turtles thing. It reminds me of something else, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Someone
actually did make a Photoshop of them looking like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's great. Here, chat, I'll show you, dude.
That's fantastic.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I actually wanted to steal 2 of those and then make them into orc stuff, because I'm a filthy orc player and I scavenge and salvage.
I mean, that is a great idea.
Because, the thought of me just putting a death roller on their transport, the big one, and then just making the smaller one into, a buggy of some sort, I'm down with that. I'm also just a fucking...
I think what you should do is you should get one of those, just basically take I don't know, one of those lighters that's like a welding torch.
Yeah.
Melts the top of it, and buy a war boss model or something, and just plop them inside.
You know what's the worst part? That's just a death kill a war trike then.
Yeah, there you go.
Speed War!
It's got more wheels. It goes faster. And then it does.
Have you ever heard of the 40K Orcs Read in Red?
That's amazing. What?
It's the Orcs Read in Red. So I think I could find this. Because it's a meme. It's a meme image. Let me just find it.
Of course, they can
Orcs
read faster
read
if it's in red, right?
Yeah. Orcs Read Red meme. Okay,
They can write in invisible ink and it's just a purple crayon.
Do these orcs seem smarter, or? Well, he managed to capture an orc and he said, we've been writing red because red makes you go faster. So our boss said, oi, maybe it make you get learn faster. So we's writing red and now we's smarter. And we almost stopped fighting to contemplate life. But it got Bob Gob all depressed and he crumped himself. So now the boss says we can't read no more.
Oh my god.
Orcs are so fucking
God.
stupid. I love it.
I love that.
Actually, so the coolest thing that they actually did in the books recently. So 40K, so Games Workshop have actually been really hammering hard on their new books and such. Like, they actually have production values now. It's really cool. When they were releasing the Ragnar Blackbane versus Gazgul book, in the book, there is a whole fucking hype rally for Gazgul with his boys. And they got rock and roll blaring in the background. They got Gazzy, like, they have like a hype man for him. And he's like, he's the biggest, the baddest, Gazgul! And Gazgul, like, jumps down from on high, like, rips the mic from this guy, and starts screaming into the mic, like, we're gonna show these Space Wolf geeks who the biggest, the baddest, and the toughest orcs are! And his whole crowd is, like, roaring for Gazgul, like it's a fucking 80s concert. It is wild, and they got orcs, like, playing, like, these awesome scrap guitars. They got, like, a sound system. They got a DJ somewhere.
So cool.
It is awesome. Oh my god, orcs are
That is
great.
fucking sick.
And it helps because,
God
like,
damn, that's fucking sick.
it helps because, like, the Gazgul is a part of the goth clan. They're goths. So, like, they're heavy metal
God, that's
inspired and everything.
That's fucking sick.
I remember them having a model.
Shit, I didn't realize what time it was. I should probably go.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
gotta get
Thank you so much for joining
No
us.
worries
I
at all.
appreciate you so very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
This was awesome. This was so much fun.
I need to talk to you more, but I will also try to see if I could score a 16-person invasion game for like
Fuck yeah.
for a night. But yeah, have a good day, my friend. Please be safe, and I hope this really cheered you up.
It did. It did. This was awesome. This was so much fun.
I'm so glad. You have a fantastic day, my friend. Be safe.
Back at you. You too.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Here, just let me get my camera back on. Boop. Holy shit, dude. That was awesome. I missed that boy so much. Oh my god, I missed him. I missed them so much. Alright. I'm tired. I gotta get ready for some other stuff today. Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate you all so much for those who stuck around. If you are interested in supporting Turaga Maxil, they're on TikTok. Their name is Turaga Maxil, and they do Bionicle lore. They do music. It's really great stuff. Please go follow them. Please go show them some love. If you want to show support for the stream, please donate. We do have that goal going on. Tomorrow we will be continuing with Pokemon Nuzlocke. But for now, I love you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe. Good night, everybody.